exciting quarterfinal contest, 3 of them today. And at the end of the day, we have 3 winners who have cemented for themselves a spot in the semi-finals of the 2021 National Science and Maths Quiz. We're going to, review the contest, all of them, with the surprising St. Augustine's, defeat to Chemu SHS, and all the emotional, high points and low points within the contest today. My name is Manuel Crunting, and if you're just joining us, grateful really that you could join us tonight. And the National Science and Maths Quiz, as always, is brought to you by Primetime Limited. It's produced by Primetime Limited with sponsorship from Ghana Education Service and Absa Bank. There's also some good support from Joy News, Goyle, Prudential Life Insurance Ghana, Airtel Tigo, Dano Milk, Kiki Juice Drink, Joy Industries, Newmont Ghana, Accra College of Medicine, Academic City College, Adanse Travels, Kenya Airways, Zipline, GTP, Studio HD, and YFM. Of course, this is a primetime production. And tonight, we're going to delve a bit deeper into what you don't see on stage and what you are not told about the National Science and Maths Quiz. Stephen Yankee is program coordinator for the National Science and Maths Quiz. Stephen, grateful that you could join us. Good evening.
Good evening, Manuel. It's
nice to actually sit again with you and talk about the contest. And of course, Ikea Free Ade, she's a clinical psychologist at the KNUST Counseling Center. Thank you so much for making time tonight to be with us. And we're bringing her because of what you don't see, as I said, the bit of psychological services that are provided by the NSMQ team for the contestants and everybody who actually comes on stage. But really, let's start the day by breaking the bread of the very first contest. St. Peter's Senior High School. They came in really hungry and thirsty for blood, and they drew that blood. Stephen, your very first bite on that contest.
Well, that contest, the performance of St. Peter's Senior High School, I think they lived up to expectation. We know how they perform on this stage. In 2019, they were at the grand finale, and we know what they are made of. Last year, they were at the quarterfinals, and this year you could tell that they had their eyes set not just at the quarterfinals, but way beyond that. And even if you look at their performance at the 1/8 stage, you could tell that this is a team that was well-groomed, well-prepared, and certainly one that was hungry for yet another title of the National Science and Maths Quiz. And their performance today spoke for itself. You could see that they dominated the contest from the very first round all the way to the final round of the contest. And I think St. Peter's will be a team to really look out for other semi-finals this year.
Some of the comments that I've seen on social media, are actually directed towards their performance in the first round against the rest of the 4 rounds. In the first round, they did extremely well. The rest of the 4 rounds combined were not as productive as how the first round was. I mean, what could explain? Is that bonuses that they had, or
well,
what could explain?
They ended the first round with 39 points. That is somebody's round 5 score. And that shows that they started the contest right. In the speed race, the questions are not just for one person, a particular school. The other schools are going in for it. Here they were in this contest with Sunrise SHS from Ho. Very good side since they joined the National Science and Maths Quiz. We saw them in 2018 when they beat Opoku-Wari School. This is their first time at the quarterfinals. And you could tell that they too were well prepared. So they were equally competing for some of these points. Then you go into the problem of the day. It can go any way. You can end up scoring 0. You can end up scoring 10 out of 10. True or false, you just have to be very analytical with your responses. The riddles are also open to all. So I think they delivered a very good performance. The round 1 was excellent, 39 points from that round. Again, that is somebody's final score at the end of 5 rounds. So I think they were very excellent on the day.
Okay, I agree with Stephen on that one. You're impressed by St. Peter's the performance today?
Yes, I was impressed, and let me say that I was impressed by the performances of all the other students as well. And of course, one will always be on top. I guess when it comes, as he said, when it comes to the different aspects of the competition, people prepare in different ways. Although they all prepare, people they prepare in different ways. And so for me, I think that it's more about how you prepare, how calm you are. Sometimes just sitting here alone.
Yeah.
Sometimes you know the answer. Sometimes you look at you can look at the crowd, and that can get you upset, and you may not be able to answer as much as you would like to.
And talking about that preparation, that's where you come in with the support. Tell us what we don't actually see on stage. There's some counseling session that are given to the student before they come on stage?
Yes, yes.
Tell us about that.
Before each contest, we, as the team of the psychologists, meet the schools. We try to prepare
So there's an entire team of psychologists?
There's a team. That the organizers have actually put together for us to help the student. It's a nerve-wracking experience. It doesn't matter how much you've prepared. So what we try to do is to put their minds at ease, help them, give them some tips as to how to calm down, how to, overcome whatever the crowd and other aspects of the show or the contest that may make them very, very nervous. We try to, as much as possible, boost their confidence. In fact, in the morning, we saw that, well, I'm not going to mention names here, but one of the, they were so tensed. They were very tense. After we've gone to another school, we even realized that one of the students was having difficulty even breathing.
I see.
Yes. And so we needed to take him through an exercise to calm him, to prepare him and the rest of the team before they mounted the stage.
I see.
So we do that before and then after. If you saw us, you could realize that even after the last contest, as late as it is, we are still around talking to some of the students. And it's not only the students, the teachers as well. Yes, because it's not, the tension or the pressure is not only on the students. Some of the teachers who are bringing the students to this contest, when they tell you some of the things they go through, you realize that they themselves also need some form of.
So it's not just the glam that we see, the lights, the stage, the bells that were ringing. It's not just those ones.
No,
it's actually an entire emotional, psychological battle on stage also.
Exactly. And if you find yourself at the center of any, I don't want to even use the contest, of any program where you are the main thing, the center of attraction, you see how nerve-wracking it is. And sometimes it doesn't matter how much you prepare, there are some things that can, upset you. So I guess a few tips here and there as to how to manage stage fright, especially stage fright.
And we'll talk about those tips before we end tonight's session. But let me go back to Stephen and talk about the second contest for the day. That's what has gotten Ghana Twitter talking, Ghana social media talking. Ogasco up against Chemu SHS and then Canton SHS. Canton, of course, did very well in their 1A stage, and they end their spot in the quarters. Chemu did same. Then Ogasco did same. Of course, they came into the contest as the obvious favorites, but they didn't end like that, Stephen.
Yes. Before I comment on that, okay. I just wanted to add to what Ekuya said about the psychological support. When we introduced this service for the contestants a few years ago, we saw that it was really, really helpful. Because in the past, we at Prime Time would, in our own small way, give pep talks to some of these contestants before they come on stage. The quiz mistresses also do that. Even still, they do that before the start of the contest. But we realized that the contestants and the teachers come under immense pressure. There's pressure from management of the school. There's pressure from old boys. Old boys are supporting the preparation. Yeah. They need to see results. There's pressure from the family, put the family's name on the map and all of that. So we saw that it will be helpful to bring on board professionals. So for the time that we were producing this in Legon, we had a team of psychologists from the Department of Psychology at the University of Ghana. But moving the competition to Kumasi, we have got support from the KNUST Counseling Center. And so far, we've enjoyed the experience working with them. And the students themselves have also confirmed that they continue to appreciate the value that our psychologists bring on board. So I think we'll continue to have that, not only for the student, but for the teachers as well, because they are also under immense pressure.
And there's a particular, contest, in particular contestants who actually broke down on stage. We'll talk about that.
Yes, yes. I recall a few years ago, a teacher told me that maybe for some of these contests, we should have an ambulance on standby because one day a teacher will have a heart attack. So it shows the kind of pressure. And you know, sometimes the pressure is felt most at the 1-8 stage. Because if you are, so to say, a big school in the country and you are the 1-8 stage,
at least
if you lose at that point, you are going to start again at the regionals, like Infant Spim has done over the last couple of years. And your goal is to get seeded, at least. That is the minimum. You can't go below that. So if you come here and you don't get seeded, sometimes you don't even know how you are going to face your management back in school. That has its own dynamics. And it's good that the psychologists come in to help manage the anxiety and other things that our teachers and contestants go through. But now to our second contest. I mean, as you mentioned, St. Augustine's came into the contest, obviously, as the favorite in this particular contest. But as we've seen this year, a lot of schools that have not put their name out there, have not made a good name for themselves when it comes to national science and maths. So this year, these schools have really stepped up. You talked about Canton, but in this contest, we saw how Chemu Senior High School showed that they too were hungry.
Right from the first round.
Exactly. They showed that they too were hungry for some laurels in the national science and maths quiz. This is going to be their second time they are going to the semi-finals. 2014, they were there at the semis. I think prior to that, they were there again in 2001. And they've shown too that they too have what it takes to make it for themselves in the competition. We saw them doing the Greater Accra regional qualifiers, during the championships, they were there. During the prelims, they were fantastic. And I think that it's a team to watch. You know, they come into the contest quietly. They don't have even many supporters. But on the day, they let their performance speak on this very stage.
And they talked about their trials. And that goes into the preparations ahead of the main championship. So the team of folks actually said they had met Ogasco in the trials and beat them. And so coming into the contest, they're actually really confident of the possibility of beating them. People should actually think of, you know, having these trials because they actually work. Tamasco is an example. Now Chemu also.
Yes, you know, a lot of the schools really invest into these trials. I mean, teams from the north travel all the way down to the south to have these trial contests. I mean, it's the reason why even ahead of football tournaments, countries like the Black Stars will go and play friendly matches all over the place just to prepare well for the contest. I mean, if you are coming into the national championship to meet the likes of Presec, Accra Academy and the rest, you also need to train with good schools, teams that will give you a good contest. So if you are in an area where you beat everybody in that area, certainly you need to move out and go and meet people who can beat you too. Once you can beat those people, then you know that on a good day, you can match them good for both in the contest. And I think that is working for Chemu Senior High School. I'm even impressed that one of their contestants is in Form 2, which means that they already have a good succession plan in place for 2022, and that is very good. I think that's a very good thing for Chemu Senior High School.
In fact, one of the things I realized about the Chemu students, they were very calm. I don't know if any of you observed it.
Yes, I did.
Whilst we were interacting, they were very calm. They were, and I was actually impressed with what they were doing. So I think that
that's true.
You're saying,
and you know, it sort of gives a boost to the confidence of all the other, for want of better expressions, lesser known schools that are also, you know, in competition for glory in this competition. So that, I mean, if Chemu has done it, beat Ogasco, then I can also do it. KNUS, I can also beat Accra Academy if I put in the work and if I put in the effort. Steve, you don't agree? I know why you're laughing.
I agree.
But you know...
Wrong example.
But you know, one of the things I've also observed with the, I think with the free SHS thing, there's, I mean, it's giving platform for everybody, and there's some, as we talk to the students, we realize and we make them aware. The big tax schools, what you know, these days, anybody can be in any other school. So they've been provided an equal platform, you know, in a way, for them to be able to...
distribution is almost
exactly, to be able to compete. And I guess if you do that as a team, and I think one of the things, as we talk to the school, we you know, we found out, and we encourage them, is to contest as a team. Prepare as a team, do things as a team. And you win as a team, you lose as a team.
Right.
Don't single anybody out.
Exactly.
So I guess my point was that the Presec thing has given an equal platform for a lot of the schools to.
But on a flip, there was an emotional, if you like, downward spiral in the camp of St. Augustine's.
Yes.
And Joshua Kessie, he broke down in tears. And I mean, I felt terrible, watching on, because, I mean, you feel that there's a lot of expectation on his shoulders and carrying the entire St. Augustine's and coming to lose in the contest. How did you handle them?
Well, I think that one of our team members, in fact, the person even actually tried to control the media and thing, but at some point, because of social media, they were able to get the shots and all that. So we took them aside, we calmed him that we had to let them know that it's a contest. One can lose, one can move on. And that's, you see, the fact that you have lost, that's the main thing. The fact that you have lost does not mean that you are not good enough. And we try to make each of the students know that you are as good as anybody, but we are different.
Yeah.
You see,
and the contest in itself
exactly,
is
we are different because, I mean, God created that, He gave us different abilities. This is a platform. Right. So whatever you do after here, that is more important. So, and of course, people react differently. One of the things we have to realize is that we are individuals, and the way each and every one reacts may be different from another person. Some people are very emotional, and so they express their emotions, in an easy way. Somebody can sit unperturbed, So I guess after that, we took care of the situation. We calmed him down, and he's doing good now. And I mean, we would follow up on that.
You follow up,
especially with the social media trolls and things like that. That's what we're going to work on.
Take it easy, man.
That's what we're going to work on, because I mean, finding yourself here is not an easy. And this, the other time I was saying that this, if you talk to them, you realize that the weight on their shoulders is like they are carrying so much. And I mean, they are so much under pressure, and they feel that they've disappointed. They don't want to disappoint this. They've disappointed somebody and all that. But the fact that you even managed to get here,
that's huge.
That's very huge.
Yeah, that's huge.
And it is like I said earlier, it is after here. That is what and not going forward does not mean you are not good.
I think in his case too, he came on as a substitute, and looking at the history over the last 2 years in the competition for St. Augustine's. In 2019, they had Newton as a substitute, and anytime he came into the contest, he was a game changer, all the way till the finals when they won it in 2019. So with Joshua coming into the contest, and this was actually his first competitive contest.
Oh, right.
So prior to his coming on, I was chatting with him when he was still in the audience, and I was asking him, is he going on? And he said, oh, he has not got any confirmation yet. So I said, have you contested in the contest yet? He said, well, he's taking part in the trials, so he doesn't know if he'll go on it. And then he got a call that, okay, he should prepare to go on, and he said his prayers backstage, and everything looked like he was going to be the winning substitute for St. Augustine, and it didn't go that way. Yeah. So you could tell that he felt that he had let not just himself down, but the entire school. That's why he really broke down like that. And we are glad that our team of psychologists were on hand to manage the situation.
And it must have been heavy for him. We wish him all the best. But a few of your social media messages. This one is coming from @Maunyo on Twitter. Tweets at NSMQ Ghana and says, hey, see gaps. St. Peter's, you too, why? Small joke with a joke, no, you take a World Cup. Anyways, congratulations. Kofi Durant on Twitter says, Absu, Hopsa or Komot. Nana, and you better. And then at Craig D. Kill says, the pressure the Presec boys they pull for this competition, them no winner, we for make the school primary school. I agree. I agree with that one.
That's the social media taunting, the trolling.
Yes, but let's wrap it up with the Presec Legon contest. It was an easy one for them. A walk in the park, you think?
Well, you know, if Presec is going to meet Swedru and Techiman in the National Science and Maths quiz, naturally, certainly, you would think that Presec would be the favorite. Apart from that, they are coming to this year's contest as reigning champions. So that already puts them at an advantage over the other two schools. And I think they also rose to the occasion. Their round one was solid. Not as good as we saw from St. Peter's. St. Peter's scored 39 at the end of round one. Presec had 32. Still very good. That is still somebody's winning score. Then they went on to end round two with, I think, 48 points, which is very impressive. Because that showed that they were fast on the bell, still competing.
In control of the game.
Exactly, because there were occasions when Swedru and Techiman also answered some of the speed race questions. They also got a fair share of the questions. And then came the true or false. They managed that very well. And then they topped it up with one radial to end the contest with the highest score for the day, 70 points, which is still very impressive. Looking at this Presec team, you can see that clearly they are really aiming to do the back-to-back they did.
They look like a winning team.
I mean, they do. Well composed on stage. Otumfuo, very solid in the true or false. And this team looks like the team that can do the back-to-back they did in 2008, 2009. Clearly. And earlier today, I was chatting with Joseph Afo. He was part of the St. Augustine's winning team. And this is what he said. He said, I feel Presec has some kind of blueprint they follow each year because their performance has been consistent. And then listen to this. He said, it's like the same contestants always, but with different faces since 2019. So you still feel like you are watching the team from 2019 when they made it to the finals. You still feel like you are seeing Gakpeto and the rest in these guys. And even as they are here and performing very well, they have an equally solid Form 2 team already on standby for 2022. So there is something they are doing well that others really need to understand.
And Mr. Fram said, unless a prime time folks decide that, okay, Presec, you wait. Let's conduct a quiz, and then we'll come and meet you in the grand finale.
So far, they look like the team that can really pour some sand into the host and win agenda here in Kumasi.
It will be a surprise if they don't win it.
Well,
I'll be surprised if they don't win it.
We still have...
My impression about the Presec team, solid.
We still have 2 days of quarterfinals to go. Others may impress you.
Okay. At the end of the first day of the quarterfinals, Presec is my best bet. I want to take round-up thoughts, but in rounding up, let's preview the contest for tomorrow. Tomorrow we have 3 different contests also. The very first one is going to feature Pope John. The first one actually will feature Keta SHS, St. Louis, and then Ghana National College. National kicked out at Disco, and then you're having St. Louis also there. And
National kicked out in Fansipim.
In Fansipim.
I think that these other college old students will be upset.
I beg you. I beg you. In Fansipim, yes. They send them packing, even after their history from the Central Regional Championship and qualifies and all that. Yes. You think National is going to go through St. Louis and Keta?
Well, Keta has been consistent over the last 3 years. Over the last 3 years, they've been at the semi-finals. I don't think that is where they want to remain. They really want to be the first school from the Volta region to win it. And I think that consistently, they too have been doing very well. This year, they haven't done badly at all. They are also coming to this year's contest as Volta regional champions. Not just Volta, but the Volta OT zone. They are the champions coming from there. I think that I'm impressed with what I've seen from the team so far. They also have a solid team of old students and former contestants from Keta who help them in their preparation and all that. And I think that on a good day, they should be able to win this contest. But I also would not rule out the girls from St. Louis. They are very calm, even in the way they answer the true or false questions, very soft tone. But you can tell these girls are also very good, very well prepared. They were last at the quarterfinals in 2018. Since then, things haven't gone too well for them. But now they are back. And they also want to make it into the semis. And then you have Ghana National. Last year, the girls from Ghana National won the Professor Henrietta Mensah Bunsu Award for the most outstanding female contestants. So they also have something good working for them. This year, now they have that added boost as the team that kicked out the Central Regional champions and 2-time champions of the National Science and Maths quiz. So coming into the quarterfinals to meet them, you already have an
idea that if you joke
these guys will kick you out. Because they too are very quiet, not much drama around their team. I think it will be a good contest to watch tomorrow morning. And I think it can go anyway, really.
You tip Ghana national also?
I would go for the ladies.
Okay.
We want more ladies.
And that's fair.
More ladies.
And that's fair. I'm with you on that one.
And also because they are in Kumasi, I'm being biased.
The Kumerica agenda is on. Host and win.
It's just there's a host and win agenda.
Yes.
In fact, I've heard it.
They want to host the win.
But I went to a girls' school.
Oh, which one?
So Ola Secondary School.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So I support the female agenda.
Let's just mention these ones. The second contest, Pope John, Wesley Girls, and then Konongo Odumase. Stephen, Konongo Odumase, Wesley Girls, Pope John.
I don't know what you want me to say.
Which one are you tipping to win?
Oh, Manuel, you know how I do my things. You know, Pope John is also a good side. They've been at the quarterfinals, 2019, 2020. Also want to make it to semis. So this year, the performance has not been too good, but they still win their contests. One of their contestants, I think, Tetewayo, come on stage and he delivers. Wesley Girls High School, 2019, they were at the semis, 2020 at the quarterfinals. And then you have Konongo Odumase. There is no history around their team. Even in 2020, they didn't qualify. But this is how they will get to upset the big teams in this contest. So I think that one too will be very exciting to see. Although people may have their favorites, I think Konongo could spring a surprise on Wesley Girls and on Pope John Seminary Senior High School.
You agree?
Well,
for the sake of the
Kumasi agenda.
No, wisdom. I'm for the wisdom. So Wesley Girls.
Oh, wow.
I see. Okay, and the final one has Tamale SHS,
the Hungry Lions.
The Hungry Lions.
Yes.
At the Saddle College.
Yes.
And then Kumasi Academy.
Yes.
Okay.
It could go anywhere.
Yes, but it looks like the guys from Tamale are very hungry and angry at the same time. You know, from the interview they granted, you can see that they are really angry. Last year, it didn't go too well for them. Consistently, they were at the quarterfinals. Last year, they exited at the 1A stage. And from their preparation and their trials, well, other schools have engaged in trials, but I don't know if any school has engaged in as many trials as Tamale Senior High School. They are well prepared for this year's contest, and they really look like a team that can make it, not just to semis, but even into the finals. So I think that they can upset Kumaka and Adisadel. But again, Adisadel has a history that works for them. They may not come into the contest with
high scores and everything.
No, but they take a contest at a time. They win the contest. Sometimes not even with impressive scores, but then they find their way to the grand finale. We saw that last year, even in the semi-finals. They had the least winning score, but then they were there, placing second at the grand finale. And then you have Kumaka too. Last year, they were the team that sent Infantine Parking at the 1A stage. So they also are a threat in this contest. And I think that it's going to be interesting. You have Tamale Senior High School, very hungry for a title. You have Kumaka, who are also in the contest. The whole host and win agenda is driving
I mean,
them.
the conversation is really going to continue on social media, and I'm sure that the teams that are watching us tonight, as we discuss and preview the contest for tomorrow, are all having an idea of who to actually be looking out for and who not to underestimate. Okay, I'm grateful that you joined us. Stephen, also, thank you so much, as always, insightful. The National Science and Maths Quiz is produced by Primetime Limited with sponsorship from the Ghana Education Service in partnership with Absa Bank and supported by Joy News, Goyle, Prudential Life Insurance Ghana, Airtel Tigo, Dano Milk, Joy Industries, Newmont Ghana, Kiki Juice Drink, Accra College of Medicine, Academic City College, Adanse Travels, Kenya Airways, Zipline, GTP, Studio HD, and YFM. We're keeping the conversation running on social media. You can tweet at us at NSMQ Ghana or tweet at me at Manuel Cranting, and we can get the conversation up and running. For now, that's all we have for you tonight. We're back tomorrow evening after the 3 sets of quarter-final contest with what we have and preview the last day of the quarter-final stage. Have a great evening, enjoy your night, and thanks for your company. Bye-bye.